cover, that's ground.
No.
Let me know.
I ski.
Okay.
That's.
I had an announcement to make. Yesterday afternoon, about 5 o'clock, I got a call from Joe Coffey. And he wanted me to send everybody his best and tells us he misses us. But not too much because he has a new hobby. He is cooking and going to fancy restaurants. That's his new hobby. Gained a lot of weight, he said. But he hopes to walk it off as soon as the snow gets over. They got walloped in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
He said they had over 2 feet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was just terrible. He didn't go out for like 4 days. Anyway, but he misses you all and sends you his very best.
All right, well then, it is Friday, February 27th at 8:31, and I'm going to call the governance committee meeting to order. And for the record, we're going to go around the room as per usual with the owl and state our names.
Chuck Houghton, Chairman.
Rachel Johnson, Vice Chair.
I'm Bill Kahn, rate consultant. Jody Devine, Water Treatment Plant Facilities Manager. Bill Silco, Acting Commissioner.
Sarah Terrell, HR Generalist.
Laura Golfo, Council.
Art Liston, Chief Accountant.
Chris Powers, Chief Fiscal Officer. Anthony Owens, Treasurer.
Mike Franchini, Secretary.
All right, thank you, everyone. And if there are no comments or questions or to the minutes of the government committee from last month, I would ask for a motion to approve said minutes without reading. So moved, second. So all in favor? Approved. And then we're right up to item 4, board strategic planning. So I'll turn it over to you, Judd. Thanks for coming this morning.
Yeah, good morning. I was asked to be a guide for developing North Stars for, I'm gonna call it your team. That's essentially what this is. And the reason that I was asked, I did this for the department. And I actually
He
helped.
very nicely let me sit in on it. It was impressive.
And you helped as well, but we as a team developed ours. I actually assisted most of the division leaders in developing their North Stars. I don't know how deep you'll get into this today, but I do want to present the guide to you and the way to get this done, because it's really important dynamic, both in strengthening the board as a team and also developing really your mission, your vision, and developing what the true goals and purposes of a team or a business are. And this isn't annual, this is your driver. You know, this is the legacy. All right. What are North Stars? North Stars are those overarching long-term goals that align the board's actions and activities. They might mirror your mission statement, your vision statement. Going through this exercise, you can almost consider a chartering session. Everybody's familiar with chartering or even rechartering. Businesses go through rechartering sessions when they determine that, you know, we've operated for X number of years. Maybe our goals are not in alignment. Maybe we need to restructure, we need to change, we need to recharter. That's not necessarily where we're at, but I think having the chairman go through the process with us on the water department side led him to this thought that it might be a good idea for the board really to have some structured goals that develop the legacy of this board. So in order to go through this process, I think what you need to do as a team is ask some questions. And really what I've done based on my very limited knowledge of this board and sitting in on some meetings, I've developed for you folks really 4 areas of questions that you should be. That I think was the original. Um.
No, that's not it.
I'm awesome. This is, so really, four areas or four perspectives that you really should be thinking about. And this goes to maybe, different strengths within the board. You've got this customer value and community impact perspective. Really important. I'm not gonna go through all of these, develop this for you. This is kind of homework. You take these home. Really start brainstorming this and then come back at some point to develop your North Stars. And maybe the process will be quicker for you. But the key really here in this customer value and community impact perspective, what is the one thing that water board customers want the board to improve? How do your North Stars and the work that the board does, how does that enhance public confidence? And not only enhance public confidence perception, but can you gain fans? Can you gain interest in what the water board and water department is doing? The next one of these are kind of in order of the way that I really see that priority is, and maybe, like I said, based on maybe experience or your particular focus within the board, maybe not your priorities, but this is the way that I believe that things should be prioritized. Strategic direction and resilience. Can the North Stars that you develop be measured? Or can they be measured as indicators for success? They should be. All right, they should be measurable and they should be attainable as well. They can be aspirational, but aspirational might mean that it doesn't happen this year, it doesn't happen in 3 years. But you folks make a lot of decisions in regard to the capital improvement plan. Huge dollar amounts. Where do you start capital improvement process? Where do you end up? And then to that strategic direction and resilience, are you balancing growth and sustainability? The next perspective, operational and financial viability. What is essential to the core function? And Bill, this is kind of your strong point. Is the financial component to the success of everyone. I think that's a given. And there again, are the goals actionable? Are they measurable? How healthy is the CIP? How healthy is the plan? And then the last one, alignment and measurement. Do the goals reflect the core values? North Stars really should reflect your mission and your vision. They really need to align with that. Are goals understandable to all? Do your North Stars make sense? When you present your North Stars to the public, are they too technical for the layperson to understand? We understand that the water board is responsible for potable water coming from the tap and responsible for sewer collections and making sure that public health is priority. But is the North Star so overly developed that the lay person doesn't understand what that North Star means? So we really want to make sure that everybody can understand those North Stars outside of your technical partners. And then again, how will North Stars guide annual budgetary decisions? So I'm going to skip really towards the end, because I'm gonna give you examples in the last bit. But I want you to realize what this process, or at least get a taste for what the process can do for your group and for your team. If you scroll down just a bit, Karen. Yep, that's where we want to be looking right now. So again, in the process, you really want to define your core values and the purpose of the board. You really want to look for areas of alignment across the group. So, and what I mean by that is we're going to talk about examples here briefly in just a minute, but as you folks are reviewing this document, you're asking yourself these questions to really develop your North Stars. When you come together as a group, and when you talk through this, you want to look for areas of congruency. This is an opportunity to build strength in the team. This is an opportunity to really dissolve silos that there may be between the group, if you're siloed in any way. Use strategic planning as a framework. Chuck, you've been an integral part of the whole strategic planning process. Use that framework, use strategic planning processes to help develop the North Stars, and be strategic in the process. Make decisions based on data, comprehensive planning, and risk assessment. I think everybody in here, based on years and years of dealing directly with the water department, you know what our risks are. You know what your risks are. And that will help you develop the North Stars as well. Again, I just want to reiterate, consider the exercise an opportunity to team build. And identify, recognize where silos are, and then work to dissolve that isolation across your team. Work on cooperation, information sharing, and overall team efficiency. And remember that when you develop North Stars, don't tuck them away. This is something that you should be showing the public. You should be sharing with the water department. And you should be sharing with each new board member that comes, that is,
Much as we have with the mission statement.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I don't know if you give some kind of introductory binder packet, something that goes to a board member.
You
get something
aware
on.
that we have a members page
Yep.
on the internet. Everything is on there. All the legal documents, board agendas, board attachments, everything is
Yep.
there.
So these should go there,
Yeah,
and they really
absolutely.
should be the first thing that anybody sees, because this is the mission. Like I said, this isn't an exercise that's performed every year. This is the 30,000 foot. Years down the road, you may want to recharter, so to speak, and take a look at your legacy planning process and see if your North Star still makes sense. Readdress at that time. But I want you folks to think at that higher level. This isn't what are we doing this year? This is what does the water board do for the city of Albany and the surrounding communities, right? Very high level.
Joe, we have, one of our policies is that every year we have to review all the policies
Uh-huh.
and sign off that we've reviewed them at the December meeting.
Mhm.
And then we could add this to that.
I'm sure you could. But like I said, your North Stars should be bigger
Bigger than 1 year, yeah.
than annually. And you're gonna see. So I'm gonna wrap this up just by giving you guys some examples. These are things that I've developed. I can't develop this for you because I do have the fortune at times of sitting in on board meetings, but you folks as a group need to find alignment and develop your North Stars. But here are a few. A North Star can be insurance of clean, safe, reliable, quality drinking water and sewer services for all AWD, AWB customers, as well as the surrounding communities serviced by the board. Manage water resources responsibly and protect the community. To evaluate and manage appropriate technology implementation, financial strength and status, customer satisfaction and staff morale. Be responsive to customer needs, feedback, and community involvement and engagement. Assure regulatory compliance throughout the Albany Department of Water and Water Supply. The water department really is responsible for the regulatory component, but you want to make sure that your directives are directing Albany. Make sure regulatory is a priority, obviously. Appropriately manage, revitalize, strengthen, and maintain all water and wastewater infrastructure and assets. And then assure the financial strength, status, and viability of the utility through proactive, responsible evaluation, budget planning, and proper decision-making related to revenue generation and rate structures. So the last thing I'm going to leave you with is divisional North Stars. And when I say divisional, I'm going to talk hierarchy for a minute. So what we have here is we have the Albany Water Board, we have the Albany Water Department, and we have, say, which would be Albany Water Department administrative level would be the commissioner. And then under here, we have a number of division leaders like myself. All right. At the division level, divisions are typically going to have, say, 1 to 3 North Stars. All right. In the same way that you have a mission statement and a vision statement. 1 to 3, these are our core initiatives. These are our overarching goals. As you start to step up levels, you may have more. Typically in the business world, they say 1 to 3 North Stars. What I found in helping the water department develop all of theirs and then working with Bill and Joe Coffey was that the higher in level and the more responsibility and the more that you manage, there are a greater number of North Stars. I'm seeing you folks with probably more, something like 5 to 7 possibly. You know, so don't get stuck on a number. If it's 1 to 3 and you find alignment in 1 to 3 and statements that truly make sense and are truly your drivers, then it may be 3. But what I have found is that when in the hierarchy and going through this process a number of times, I also, I think most of you know, I came here from Florida in 2016. I sat on a strategic planning team in Florida as well. As you go through this process and go up the hierarchy, the number of North Stars tends to grow a bit. It doesn't get as large as a list of, say, annual goals, you know, or annual projects, because these are your drivers. This is who we are. You know, really look at what defines you as a team, as a group, what makes you stronger, you know, what inspires, and that'll help you. Any questions?
Yes. How many divisions did this? Were there 4?
Did I work
That you
with?
worked with, yeah, for the department.
Let's see. My own watershed, engineering, fleet, operations, security, customer service, HR and HR and administration,
So you went way down.
not
the
9 or
line
10.
area.
So I really wanted to dig deep because not only did I want to make sure that I caught all of the divisions of the water department, but when Karen and I really started to coordinate this, we wanted to look at the public facing groups, the people that face the public as well, which meant customer service as a division. And even though customer service really in terms of hierarchy falls under the management of Chris and his staff, they're a public facing group where Finance and purchasing typically doesn't deal directly with the public as much. That's the group where the folks come through the door, we see faces. So I did, we included them as a team and we want to develop North Stars for them as well.
Can we see those?
Yeah, I mean, I can, yeah. I can, I can show them to you now. I know that there's another meeting. I can send them to you. I
Yeah,
can,
that'd
I
be
can
great,
get
'cause
those sent to Karen
Work and
and
thing.
have Karen send them out. Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions for me?
It's a great start.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
You've got us in the starting block.
If you want any help with it, like I said, I work with every division leader to develop theirs and I'd be happy to come back and help. But it's really a process that you want to do with your team members. So use this document as a guide. There's a lot of really good research on strategic planning and North Star building online as well. So dig into that. And you know, feel free to contact me outside of the meetings as well. Be happy to help if you have questions. I appreciate everybody's time today. Thanks for having me and I enjoy leading this kind of stuff, so.
Thank you.
Yep.
I actually have one more question, just process based on your experience, just to help us know what to do next. How long did it typically take, just to say, you sat with you sat with Karen and the rest of the team? You had maybe 1 meeting, 10 meetings with the meeting an
It's
hour?
like pulling teeth.
Oh, that's encouraging.
Here's the thing.
Super easy.
Here's really what. You have to be fully engaged in the process for a short period of time. The problem with working with, 10 different division leaders that I spoke with to do this is. One, you're trying to chase them down between the woods of the alcove and the streets of the city to get them for that 20-30 minutes that I need at the table with them to start getting them to think this way for one, and that's difficult.
Okay.
And that's really why I put this guide together for you folks, is so you could go home, use this and start brainstorming this on yourself and just jotting some notes down. If you can do that, you come up with your own North Stars based on these examples and all of these questions. Bill comes up, with his North Stars. Anthony comes up with his North Stars. Everybody does. Come to the table and then find alignment and find what truly makes sense.
So if the board all takes this as homework and then we have a governance committee meeting next month, you come back and just dedicate 15-20 minutes to discussion, that would be a good next step. You think that's
I think though the difference between what the department does and what the board does is you're always having public meetings.
right? We
Mhm.
have to.
And workshopping is a little different, maybe, your board could, give guidance in the end of workshopping for boards because it's a little bit different than having.
And that's what I was gonna say. I mean, I don't know the legality of that, but in a perfect world, you're probably workshopping this in like a 2-hour workshop, putting some things on paper or up on a whiteboard or on the screen. And then you're looking for continuity there and then pulling your North Stars right out of where you see alignment.
Yeah, so when 3 or more of you meet, it's a quorum and you have to notice it as a meeting, even if it's a workshop. But if you wanted to set aside another day besides a board meeting day to do that, we would just notice it like we notice any other meeting. There's no real way for 3 or more of you to meet sort of in private to do that. But there is a way for 2 of you to meet in private and report to, each of you. But you probably want that group discussion. So we would notice it as a workshop and we could talk about what that agenda looks like, but just so you know.
So, thank you.
Yeah.
So let's stick with the original plan where we all take the homework, we come back, we talk for 10-15 minutes and develop a
strategy for the strategy, which would be come with your calendars next month and we'll work out a workshop and then notice it.
Perfect.
Great.
Yeah, I would say just as a guess, you know, if you work this, if you do your homework, become engaged in this, do this in 20-minute sessions, it will probably take you a few months to be able to actually start putting North Stars on paper. And well, I think the importance of it and only taking a few months is short. Remember, you're taking a few months of 20-minute sessions, let's say, as an example, for really a legacy of work. You know, so don't let a few months seem like it's daunting. It's not. This is a process. It's not something that just happens.
It took you about 6 months, didn't it?
It did, yeah. And like I said, that wasn't just because I had to chase people down. There's a lot of thought that goes into this. So, because again, you want this to be legacy. You want this to be the really what defines the board. So there's a lot of higher level thought, and that just takes some time, you know. So I don't think that 3 to even 6 months is too long. You're really putting North Stars together for the next 10 years or even longer potentially.
Great. Sounds good.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. All right, the board knows what we're tasked with. All right.
Joe, thanks for all your good work with the plan.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, then.
You're welcome to stay or go back. What's your plan?
Up to you, Joe. I'll stay.
Okay.
All right, we'll move on to bylaws and policy reviews and recommendations. So Laura, I'll turn it over to you.
Sure. First item that's on this piece of the agenda is the internal controls policy. Chris, Arif and I met last week and we really, took a high level review of the policy together and identified at least 3 areas where we think we can hone in on. But part of it is us getting a little bit granular to make sure that we aren't going to develop a policy that doesn't fit with the practice of the department or where the department wants to take its practice. So it's going to take a little bit of time, but that is in process. And I think the next step is for Chris and Arif to kind of I don't want to be a drafter of something that I'm not a part of. So I want to make sure I'm really checking in with the staff on that. So they'll give me some feedback and then we can develop it, and get it back to the board.
Sounds good.
The second one is the commissioner evaluation process. I took a look at the performance evaluation form. I don't have many edits to it at all. I don't have many revisions. Just for the record, the performance evaluation, there are 4 different sections. The first is management skills, leadership, and organizational performance. The second is community and public relations. The third is relationship with the board, and the 4th is professional development. So as Joe was talking about North Stars, we might find that we either add or want to revise the different categories that we're looking for in our commissioner. But for now, I think you can operate on this form as is and think about it as you're developing the North Stars as well.
Okay. And
Wasn't there one thing though that we did want to change?
The process at so I developed that, I just made up that form.
Yeah.
Out of the blue. So
No,
go ahead and tell me it's terrible.
No, I don't think so.
I think I need help with the top. I wrote like a little process.
Oh, the guidance piece? Okay.
Yeah, and I know that the goal was to really just define that so that more board members than just me and one other
Oh,
could
sure.
have the opportunity to give
Okay.
feedback. And given the open meetings law, we can't meet more
Right.
and perform business. So just the the guidance for future members or for me next year, when I
Yeah.
forget.
Okay.
Is this executive session? Is it not? Is it?
Fair,
What do we-
yeah,
what do we-
yeah, likely executive session, and I will, I'm sorry, misunderstood, I will absolutely give you a recommendation on how to make that happen. And the idea is for every board member to be a part of.
Or have an
that.
opportunity,
Or have an
yeah, just,
opportunity. Okay,
because right now that's not allowed if I just go give feedback.
yeah, exactly, all right, so, okay,
And does it say in there that we then share the recommendation with the mayor? And we've been
I
doing
don't-
that.
it does not.
We don't make it clear, and that would be nice.
Okay.
When people
Let's
give their
add that in.
feedback, it's not informal feedback, it's formal feedback.
okay, sure, all right, so process.
As
and-
Kathy Sheen said, it was very helpful.
Okay.
Good.
Okay,
Thank you.
yes. The next item was bylaws and trying to figure out if we needed an amendment to the bylaws regarding tabling votes and procedural guidance on motions. I don't think that we need them in our bylaws, to be honest, but thought it might be a good opportunity to just review like motion practice during a meeting. And one thing to keep in mind is that when there's a motion pending, that has to be acted on or withdrawn before another motion comes before the board. So let's say a motion is called to approve one of our resolutions today. We either need to act on that or we need to withdraw the motion that is made. I bring this up because.
And we've done that a
yes.
couple of times over the years.
Yeah.
There wasn't enough information. We had to postpone till the next meeting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we do that in process, but once a motion is made, we've got it, the person who makes it either has to withdraw it or we have to go forward with it. So we either approve or disapprove. So, so I just thought it was good to kind of think about, we have tabled things in the past, but just making sure that the process is followed. And that's happy to provide guidance in real time.
I think that's great because our ABO regular training goes over
Yeah.
that anyway, so we all are trained regularly.
Perfect, perfect. And then records management policy, this is something that we had identified after further ABO guidance in October. I drafted a records management policy. It's not very robust, to be honest, but I think that's what we need. I think we just need something that's pen to paper about the purpose. We make some definitions and then we really at the end say that this is for governance and risk management purposes. Again, board members are going to be obligated to also follow this record management and retention policy. And we have reliance on our staff as well for that. So anyone has, oh, and then this will become another policy that we review annually. So if there's recommendations from the staff throughout the year that, hey, we need to tweak something or we need to add something, that would be, there'd be an opportunity annually to do that.
So even at work, I always notice that the definition of a record is so vague and large.
It's broad. Yeah, this is very broad.
Typically for us, typically for us, it's our minutes, our resolutions and any follow supporting documents, right?
Right.
Is there, and that's the 5-year, I saw that's 5-year retention.
5-year retention, yeah.
Which seems fine. It seems like there's something different for easements must be like
Yes.
time, right? The
Easements are likely going to be recorded at the county clerk's office, so
we.
there are other ways, you know, for to track that. We can retain it for longer, you know what I mean? Like, we
Right.
can do that for longer. But yeah, the retention schedules and disposition schedules, those are set by the New York State Education Department, so you can go longer, but those are the minimum standards essentially. And we refer to that in the policy. And then just as another note, the city of Albany has their own records management policy that is codified in their code. So this policy is not intended in any way to conflict with that. So, you know, again, maybe something that will review in practice, but.
Don't we also keep all of these electronically? You know, in the minutes of the board meeting and whatnot, we put that on the page.
I think too, there's, just distinguishing between the water departments and the city's policy, which is really kind of centers around the use of a Albany County Hall record. And whether the department that is going to have use the same mechanism for the long-term storage of any documents that Albany County Hall of Records becomes the ultimate place for record storage. But yeah, we have things that are digital. I think there is some thought needed about what needs to be hard copy. And what's original. For the finance authority, we've got, 30-year bonds and we've got documents from the bond council and those that definitely department attention. And our facilities, things we really need to keep in perpetuity if we're still using them. So there's different things to keep in mind with hopefully Albany Health Records does have different procedures for things that are more short term, like billing information and employee records, as opposed to things that would be archival, like plans, specifications, and things like that. So we need to just have a good relationship with all the things.
Any other questions, comments?
Yes, one comment on the internal control doc. We have to submit that to our auditors and they give us a grade on it. That was, when we first hired the new auditors for 24. So that's an assessment of our internal control system. Since then, we've made a decent amount of updates on it. It was very paperwork heavy. We've had some new technology that's made this thing more efficient. So that's going to be part of that upgrade. We didn't really change that yet. So we need to kind of up that to what we're actually doing and keep some of the things in that document that we probably should be doing a little better. And then if they do come up with management comments as they've done, we answer them within that actual internal control document as well to see that we've addressed whatever situations that's been. But so I think we have about a month to complete that and submit that to our auditors.
Great, so it'll be.
And that's an annual thing. right?
Annual thing, yeah. So the better that internal control assessment is, the less work they do here. They don't have to do substantive work of checking invoices. And if they believe our controls check that, they just rely on those controls. So it's actually a very important document for us. Otherwise, we have auditors here for a couple of weeks as opposed to a couple of days, so to get that right from the very beginning is critical.
Great. Sounds good, so we'll review that next month then.
Yes.
Sounds wonderful, okay. Any other questions or comments before we go to E and perform our voting? No? All right, then I guess, so Laura, do I ask for a motion to vote or do I just do an all in favor?
You can ask for a motion and we'll just do a roll call like we do, but we won't record it as a resolution or anything.
Right, it'll be a recommendation.
Yeah.
So can I ask for a motion to recommend to the regular board meeting later today? Resolution 2608, which is authorizing the chair, vice chair, and director of fiscal operations to execute checks on behalf of the Albany Water Board. And resolution 2617 to adopt this records management and retention policy.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
And all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Any need for executive session? Hearing none. Any new business?
You don't want to hold.
We do.
Yeah.
The next governance committee meeting is scheduled for Friday, March 27th at 8:30 a.m. And with that, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Meeting complete. Thanks, everyone.